Hello and welcome to Project Refit. We are the group you didn't know you needed until you found us. Project Refit was started to be a safe place for veterans and attempt to lower the veteran suicide rate of 22 per day. It was quickly opened up to first responders who are more likely to die by suicide than in the line of duty. Over 6% of first responders have attempted suicide at some point in their career. This is a place where those who are hurting can come and tell their story to others that truly understand. It sometimes gets very raw, but it is important that we allow our military and first responders to talk without judgment or restriction. We only have a few rules: no isms, no racism, sexism, discrimination. If we want others to respect us, we have to respect others and ourselves. We do try and steer clear of politics and religion as they are sometimes triggering. No interruptions. When someone is telling their story, don't interrupt. It may be the first time that they are able to talk about it out loud. No diagnosing. Usually none of us are trained. And even if you are, this is not the time or place to diagnose others. Don't tell others what they must do. You can tell them what you did and how it worked, but don't tell them what they have to do. We do encourage therapy. Just opening up and talking in the group is therapeutic. And several people here on Buddy Check-In have gone on to professional therapy with great results when they were ready. And warning, we will mock you. It simply means that you've been accepted as one of us. Good evening, Jeremy. How are you today?
Doing all right, Bruno. How about yourself?
Well, I'm still here above ground, so I guess that means something. I got my COVID shot on Sunday, and I got hit with a little bout of fatigue this afternoon that I wasn't expecting.
How are you doing now?
I seem to be okay. I mean, I really don't know if it was from the shot or because I'm still dealing with so many other, things going on. It could have really been almost anything.
I was
That
going to say, you're the king of mitigating factors.
Yeah, I am. I am getting good at it.
Yeah, you're that television show that says, "And wait, there's more."
Yeah, there is always more. It seems like,
Yeah,
but
it's never good to be that guy.
and yet I'm still here.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
I am still hanging on.
Yeah, once the world gets over this whole everybody's got to wear a mask thing,
Well,
I can finally come out of my house.
well, supposedly in New Jersey, it's on the 28th. The governor
Yeah,
uh, is supposed to make the announcement on the 28th that people that are vaccinated no longer have to wear a mask. Now, since they're not allowed to ask you if you were vaccinated, I guess it's on the honor system.
I was gonna say, and Toto, we're not in Kansas anymore. I've seen this failed movie before, and yeah, all okay. Here's a political, non-political rant. If everybody watches B budget failed movies, they will understand every stupid thing going on out in the world.
That is probably quite true. They made a big production out of there have been almost no flu cases this year other than COVID because people were wearing the mask and social distancing and, washing their hands and, all that other fun stuff. Um,
Yeah, they're
which makes you kind of wonder, COVID is just a version of the flu. If it was so effective, how come it worked on everything but COVID?
Remember, we're not supposed to talk about this.
I'm not talking about politics. I'm not talking about religion. I'm just
Big pharma.
pointing out that
Big pharma.
maybe, I mean, I don't know. How do people, if everybody's doing what they're supposed to do and they're doing it so well that they aren't getting the regular flu, where are they getting COVID from?
Big pharma.
How?
Yeah. We're not supposed to talk politics or the news or any of that stuff.
It's not politics and it's not really even news at this point. But I mean, I was pretty careful, mainly because I had a lot of
You're the king of
comorbidity issues.
yeah, you're the king of mitigating factors. Don't even me and you wouldn't count into any of this. We're susceptible to anything.
Yeah, but I did everything they suggested that I do, and I still got it, but nobody else in my house got it. It is just a very strange disease, and I while I do love conspiracy theories, I also recognize that most of them are, just like borderline science fiction, with not a whole lot of basis in reality usually. But I honestly think COVID was engineered as a weapon and got out, and it did exactly what it was supposed to do. Because
Population control
maybe, I mean,
in a regional area.
I mean, my personal opinion, without actually researching a lot of numbers, is that you probably have as many people die from the regular flu nor in a good flu season as died from COVID. It's just not as newsworthy, I guess.
See, I hate to say this, and these idiots have put it out there pretty easy to try and track. They've said exactly who is the most susceptible to COVID and who is the most likely to die from it.
Yeah, and then there were places where they placed, the nursing homes, especially in New York and some in
Yeah,
New
that
Jersey, where they literally placed COVID carriers there, knowing that that was the most susceptible population.
personal opinion on the whole nursing home thing that happened in New York. All the politicians that were involved in that should be wearing anklets.
Oh, I think they should not be wearing anklets. I think they should be fully incarcerated, but that's just
Well,
me.
anklets and serve. You know what kind of anklets I'm talking about? The clink clink type.
Oh, you mean leg irons?
Yes, sir. They need to go spend time in federal max because I'm pretty sure they killed somebody's grandma.
Yeah, I think that's a given. And I
Yeah,
don't think this is
and
all over yet.
oh no, no, and on like I said, uh, or like you even are getting to the whole nursing home thing. That is, that one has pissed me off since the beginning of that shit. They pulled that shit up here in Washington, or over here in Washington State too. They had one nursing home that they just kept putting people in it. And it's honestly, what the? I've been in a field hospital. You don't do that. That's cross contamination.
Well, one of the things I don't want to say I learned, but that I complained about to one of my doctors was I was in two different hospitals over the course of about 3 weeks. One of them was definitely superior as far as the level of care. And it wasn't the nurses, it wasn't the doctors, it was policies handed down from administrators. And, administrators administrate, they're not doctors, they're not medical professionals. So why are they the ones making the policies and procedures that the medical professionals have to follow? Same thing with insurance companies.
They have to stay within, when it comes to the hospitals, they have to stay within inside the budget, because they also have to cover liability for the one or two, or however many, if there is any bad ones or the accident. I've dealt with the administrations in a couple of hospitals on the donation side, on the charity event side, and you've got to look at what the purpose of the board is. Is it a for-profit, or is it a non-for-profit? Is it a non-profit?
Well, honestly, I don't care. I want medical professionals making decisions about my health, not people with an MBA.
Fully get that. It's kind of on the doctor, because they have to have the nuts to stand up to the board. Nuts, guts, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, they should be protected. Same thing with an insurance company. If an insurance company says, no, you don't need that medication, and the doctor says you do need that medication, they should have an independent board of medical professionals review it and
adjudicate it and make that it's a third party decision.
Yeah, because a lot of times you have absolute, like I'm in a position, if my insurance company says, no, we don't want to do that, I have absolutely no recourse. I mean, I might now because I'm on Medicare too. But
yeah, I'm on Medicare and TRICARE for life, so I really don't know on medical and all that, how all that works. I went straight from active duty Army to, I applied for Medicare before I was retired, and it was approved upon my retirement. So, and that was it. I retired at the age of 28.
Well, so I know
on the insurance stuff, I don't really know anything.
Well, I know through the pension, I didn't really have insurance. We had whatever plan you picked, they basically administrated payments for the state. So when you would go to appeal something, they would, to the insurance commission, you got told, well, you don't really have insurance because the state is basically paying everything and the insurance company is just doing what the state tells them. And I really didn't like that. because it
Yeah,
put you in a
no.
position where it's like, well, now I'm stuck. And they're kind of doing the same thing now. When I went on Medicare, I lost my pension insurance, and I figured, great, I can get whatever supplement I want. And then I find out I have to get the supplement the state wants me to get through them, because otherwise my wife loses her medical benefits. So it's like I'm kind of held hostage at this point. It's just really sucks. But at least I have health insurance. So
Well, there's the plus side, right?
hey,
Are you talking about?
and they yeah, and they give
Sorry.
me stuff I don't even want. It's like, you should have this. I don't need it. That's all right. We're going to give it to you anyway. All right, whatever.
Is this for your transition?
What?
Is this for your transition?
Yeah, I'm trying to transition into an alien. Like that one on the Twilight, not the Twilight Zone, on the Outer Limits.
Outer Limits. Yeah, I know about it. I never watched it. I'm not that old. Twilight Zone, I've seen. Twilight Zone, I've seen those.
See, I thought you were going for Klingon.
I would do a Klingon in a minute.
I
mean, I drink prune juice every morning, and my wife goes, "Why?" I said, "Because prune juice is a drink that Klingon warriors can enjoy," and I get a look like. So, I'm okay. It's it is what it is. Listen, for years she's been telling me I need to get my head examined, and I finally saw a neurologist. What's the first thing she does? Give me a psych referral. So it's like, go ahead. Can't win sometimes.
I got to go for a TBI or a VA compensation and pension exam for TBI in a couple of weeks.
Oh yeah.
Well, hopefully you make out okay for a change.
It's actually going to be funny. It's been funny so far.
I guess that's good. Like funny,
Yeah.
ha.
Funny seeing their reactions when they look at the paperwork and realize that somebody fucked up.
Yeah. It's always a fucking good face to see. It's always the face you want to see when someone's going over your medical records.
Well, okay, it really sucks in the initial phase, but after you personally get over it, seeing everybody else's reaction gets kind of funny after a while. But you do have to sit back and go, holy fuck, I'm fucked.
Yeah.
It takes a minute to accept that. And also to figure out who the hell you can trust.
Oh, I am definitely an X-File kind of guy. Trust no one.
I don't even trust myself half the time.
Yeah, I used to tell my wife that. She's like, "What?" I said, "I did internal affairs." It's like, I don't trust anybody.
I literally flip a coin most times to stop myself from bad decisions. I'll flip a coin. Like I'm like, all right, this decision's questionable.
See,
so I'm
does that
gonna
work?
coin maybe save my ass 50% of the time.
Y'all joke about it, but going through shit tons and shit tons of records and paperwork, yeah, they should have never trusted me to my own judgment.
Yeah, that's the worst. God forbid.
Especially, I have photographs of the shit happening, but have no memories, and who the fuck's that?
That's crazy.
Is not a good thing to say.
Nah. They don't like that.
Or what it really gets bad when you start looking in your military record and going, really? What in the fuck? Really? Huh? Ain't that some shit that they let that go through?
That's the
Yeah.
government for you.
They're
Being in
there
this
to help
group,
you.
being in this group helped me realize some rather interesting things about life. The whole Tenhauser, were you Army or?
Yeah, I was Army.
Okay. Were you on here when they said that you couldn't receive an Army Achievement Medal for something that happened in Iraq?
Yeah, I remember that slightly. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thanks to this group bringing that shit up. That was my first award.
An Army Achievement Medal?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was mine too, but not in Iraq.
Well,
it was for something else.
That was my first award for deployment to Iraq in 03.
Oh, no shit. So that's false then, right? I think they were saying like only like ACMs and above or some shit. Like basically, like that's all you're gonna get. But I don't know. That's not like a rule or anything. I think they were just saying like if you went to Iraq, like you were getting ACMs or higher. That's what I was hearing.
Well, I got an AAM for my first award, and it was actually written on the back of the award. It was written as an ARCOM, but then downgraded to an AAM because it was my first award.
Yep. That sounds about right. Fucking horseshit. I think, you know what I think my first award was? I think it was for, so I got the EFMB. This is fucking stupid, but so I got the Expert Field Medical Badge. I was a medic. So when, I don't know if you know much about the EFMB, but it's a pretty tough course actually to pass. There's tests and there's field tests and you got to do everything and you get one single no-go, boom, you're out. You don't fucking pass. You don't get the badge. So I went and I got it on my first try, which most guys are like, you don't like, you'll get it on your second, third, fourth try or whatever. Some people never get it, but I got it on my first try and they gave me an AAM for that. So I was like, okay, so you gave me an award for getting the award. Okay. I just thought it was kind of comical that they awarded me for getting the fucking award was the award, dummy.
Well,
but if you want to give me an AAM on top of that, I'll take it.
The military works in mysterious ways.
Yeah.
See, they gave me an AAM for my first deployment, but they gave the unit
unit citation award.
Meritorious unit citation.
Yeah.
Deployment of 101st, both from Jacksonville, Florida, and receiving it in Kuwait Port, and then shipping it from Kuwait Port and receive it in Jacksonville, in the boats only being in port 72 hours or less. I only get an AAM.
Huh. That's dumb.
Oh, it gets worse. Hi, I'm the only hazmat guy for the aviation unit that's unloading and assembling the aircraft. I'm also the tool room guy.
Oh, yeah. I'm pretty sure I was a mechanic. I felt like a mechanic. I know I was a medic, but I felt like a mechanic.
Oh, the only reason I got an award, I was the only E4 to get an award, and the only reason they had to give one to me is I was the hazmat guy. I was the one signing the federal hazmat paperwork. So they kind of had to acknowledge that the E4 was the registered guy.
Yeah.
Sorry for their luck. I was trained, they weren't.
Yeah. Same here. They didn't think anyone read the pill bottles that they gave you or all the things that they would give you to fucking stuff in people, but I was always that guy that read everything. I was like, so here's what this is going to do to you. Some contraindications here, FYI.
Okay, what was the malaria pill they gave you in 03? Can you
I was
name it
out by
by
then.
its?
Sure, I would have known, and all the kind of diarrhea would have probably caused you.
Yes, sir. You win.
Yeah.
All right, Austin. What are you scraping today?
I'm taking a day. Well, kind of taking a day off.
What, you're cleaning the bong?
No, but I do need to do that. Thanks for the reminder. Way
Gotta
to go.
get some of that simple green. Get all of that simple green in there.
Oh, fuck you. Simple. Who the fuck? God damn. Next thing you know, you're going to say Tide Pods are tasty.
I'll tell you what, that simple green. So the simple green that they have now is not the same simple green that we used in the army. I'll tell you that. The shit that they have now is not nearly as toxic or effective.
And the shit that they have now, whether it was the shit from back in the day or the shit now, I ain't cleaning something I'm gonna fucking smoke out of with that shit.
I mean, could work to your advantage.
I'd rather, if I'm gonna do some stupid shit like that, I'll drink some Four Locos and fucking smoke some spice.
Now you're talking.
Or
News at 11.
I'll just go back next time I go to Portland. I'll wear a Trump 2024 fucking shirt as I go through downtown.
No balls.
My wife took mine.
Dude, you want to talk about a shithole? Fuck you, west side of the fucking of Oregon and Washington.
Well, fuck you too, Austin.
Yep. I'm sorry. Juarez looks cleaner than fucking driving into Portland or fucking Vancouver.
Boom.
Now go 80 miles straight north up I-5 and it will become beautiful country.
Yeah. They said, don't worry. It's only the first inch you got to worry about. The rest is easy. Bullshit. Oh.
Once you get the tip in, it's fine.
Yeah. I've tried.
The rest is easy.
I've used
Mhm.
it.
Heard that before.
It gets you punched in the eye.
Tannhauser, you would probably know this. Those ozone sanitizers, do they actually work pretty good?
Ozone sanitizers?
Yeah.
The modern day snake oil.
I'm not sure. Never heard of it.
Holy water.
Ooh.
Well, my BiPAP machine, they said not to use it because the ozone would destroy the electronics in the machine. So I got one where you just take the hose and it sanitizes the hose and the mask. It goes in a bag with them and generates the.
You're talking about for fucking cleaning out the mask and the hose, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, those they make I know they make a couple different style systems. One uses infrared and
The other uses ozone. It's basically a little ozone generator.
well, make a big one and we can fix the hole in the sky.
That's true. But they were like real adamant not to put it on the machine itself because it would mess with the electronics. So I got the one with the bag where you just put your hose and your humidifier tank and your mask in there and let it run during the day.
Oh yeah. That's Nerf stuff, man. Nerf stuff. Let me know if you get shot in the chest.
You guys missed the fun this weekend.
I've only ever
or
been
if you got
shot
a really,
once.
or if you got a really bad hangover, I can help you out. A couple double boards, we'll get you back on the fucking PT field, no problem.
I think that's why a lot of medics want to be medics, so they can be lazy during PT hours.
Dude, I would much rather do PT, honestly. Dude, sick call sucks ass.
Oh, I know.
Tankers are fucking notorious for at least a
Being
few of
sick.
them always show up in the goddamn aid station. I'm sick, doc. Oh, are you now? That's
Well,
funny
you're
because I saw you drinking a case of beer last night at the barracks. Right down the hall from me. You're sick this morning? I'm shocked.
Oh.
They bought it.
Dude, we used to, like, I don't know, I guess if you drank a bunch of whiskey, but I remember we would drink all night, like most nights when in garrison. And then from like 12 to, I mean, you got to get up at 4:30 and do PT. And we did it every goddamn morning.
And at least one day a week you pulled, okay. Thursday was a guaranteed all-nighter. Sunday you tried to pull an all-nighter to get ready like a Monday, because you knew Monday was going to suck ass anyways, and you could probably rack out in the motor pool doing maintenance.
There you go. You know the routine.
God.
But yeah, 4:30 PT. I never tested it. I think some did here and there, but like, yeah, if you didn't show up, dude, the freaking MPs would come to your barracks room. Or even if you lived off post, they would come into your house and be like, yo, Miss PT asshole, we're here to get you.
PT?
Yeah.
They'd send the MPs? Oh
They'd
my.
send the MP for you, yeah.
Wow.
This is Fort Hood. Like I said, I never tested it, but I had heard that if you miss fucking PT formation there and you're not on sick call, that they may send the MPs for your ass.
Whoever told you that was also probably trying to sell you fucking property in Arizona that had a beautiful ocean view. I did 6 years at Hood. I went to go get my own fucking soldiers because sometimes it was nice to skip PT because I have a lazy fuck.
Mm-hmm. But you couldn't call the MPs, be like, yo, go get this guy.
No.
MP laugh your ass.
Hood was a fucking Hood. I mean, even back in the 90s or pre 9/11, you had like
It's the Hood.
20 or 30 different ways to get off base without going through a gate.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, but I mean, someone's gonna know you're fucking missing from the unit. At least the unit I was in. Like, dude, if you weren't there, someone fucking knew you weren't there. Like, yeah, there's plenty of ways to get out of there.
About the only person you would get excused from for missing PT when I was there was if you had to go pick up the sergeant major because he was fucking drunk.
Yeah. But yep, every morning,
Fun days.
And we always just ran. I think so. We always would run every fucking morning. We'd go for a run. I felt like everyone went for a fucking run. Never mixed it up. The only time we ever mixed it up for like a little bit there, we were in between. So we lost our platoon sergeant. So before we got like our permanent, we ended up getting like 2 platoon sergeants in between then. And this one platoon sergeant, I forget his name, but he boxed. He was an ex-boxer. And I boxed too. So like every morning, he's like, nah, we're gonna go do this other thing. So we would go to like our little common field, and he had us out there like shadow boxing and shit. And it was fucking gay as shit. I mean, not gay, but it was just dumb as shit. Just because like you box, like, this is dumb, you know what I mean? But I was just happy to do something that wasn't running, Like, thank God we're not fucking running for once.
It's okay. You can say gay. That's allowed.
Yeah. I just felt gay because we're out there shadow boxing. And, oh man. Nobody knew what they were doing. I was like, this is fucking horrible.
I think we ran at least three times a week. But we'd always run over to the first calf site from 4th ID and go fuck with the calf and try and steal guidons and shit. You want good motivation not to fall out? You're carrying the guidon that you just stole when you're running back to 4th ID land.
That's probably good. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a question to throw out there.
You might not like the answers.
Is all this PT something they started like in the 90s?
What, PT?
Yeah, because I was in the Air Force and we did PT like once a year.
That really doesn't count. I mean, you guys barely know what a salute is.
Don't get me wrong. It's not like every unit in the Army does PT in the morning, but the combat units should be doing PT. Every unit should do PT.
It's like we had a PT test once a year. That was it.
I remember they were even talk before they came up with this new PT program and PT test shit that they're going to go to a job specific PT test.
Horseshit.
So you can get away with being a fat fuck in a support unit because you really have no function in life except for stealing oxygen and being first in line at the fucking chow hall.
Yeah.
Or you get the great PT test. Oh, you're a combat guy. And people wonder why we look down on pogues.
Yeah, it's nothing personal. You just suck at PT.
Yeah. Guys, we stole the 1st Brigade, 1st Cav headquarters fucking flag.
Oh shit. You did not.
Well, it's like, I was 4th ID with the MLRS unit.
During PT morning hours, how did you not get your shit stomped in by like the friggin' 20 fucking companies running around PT that should have been in the area?
Oh. It was so funny doing PT at Hood because you could really, they shut damn near the whole fucking base down.
Yeah.
And yeah, I remember we did a 3-corps run. Holy fuck. You start at your division headquarters, run to 3-corps, and then continue the loop around all the motor pools until you're back at your headquarters. And this was back when, at the time, it was General Schwartz was a 3-corps commander. Loved that guy. I think he was a 2-star at that time. Might have been a 3. But as we're coming, we just hit the bottom end of Battalion Row, and we're turning up. We're turning down Clear Creek to go to the fucking motor pool to start running our way back up. And 112 Cav. That was the first armored unit you ran by, or their motor pool was the first one you ran by on the way back up.
You cross over.
I had a couple buddies in the unit. They were lucky they got out of this division run because they were just coming back from the field. What's the worst thing about going to the field at Fort Hood? Cattle. Like it's along with every other piece of Army property in the United States, it's all leased land. The government doesn't own any of it. They've rent this shit out. And with the ranchers, they knew, we don't have to put our shit away because if they kill one of our cows, I get this much. If they kill a bull, I get this much. They do their nonchalant, okay, we're going to go out the day before and clear our cattle out. They never would. But this battalion comes in, and this is when, you remember the mine rakes on the front of the M1s?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're pulling in their motor pool, and their lead tank has a fucking 1,200-pound bull pierced. onto that fucking thing. And
Yeah. Boys will be boys.
cost that unit over $250,000.
Jesus. A poor cow.
The way it was is if you killed a cow, then you had to pay for that cow, and you figure 1 to 2 calves per year for a minimum of 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
You're basically paying for upwards and over 10 fucking cows. You kill a bull, how many cows do you think that bull can knock up?
Wouldn't it have been easier to just buy him another bull or another cow?
They want the fucking money. They bought
Oh, yeah.
plenty of bulls and cows with that money.
Mm-hmm. They get their money's worth for sure. They'd love for you to kill one of them bulls.
But to see the 3-Corps commander come unfucking hinged. You could have got away with murder after that happened if you were 4th ID, because all eyes were on first cab.
Yeah, we were. So you know where the division, first cab division headquarters building,
Yeah,
big
right.
ass building there off Battalion.
Right by Elvis's house.
Yeah. So right across the street from that, that's the barracks that 1/8's in. That's where I lived for a little bit. I got off post housing too. But that's where we were at, 1/8, right across the street.
Yeah. I remember remember their artillery every night?
Oh yeah, dude. I
Dude,
loved that artillery. Loved
you
it.
could be 40 miles away from base and your windows would shake every fucking night.
To me, like, I don't know, dude. Like,
always out shooting.
It became a lullaby to me.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
I got so used to it. I just love hearing that in the far distance. Boom, boom.
Now hearing that shit today, another story.
Yeah. I mean, it depends. As long as it's far away, I'm good. It's all good. But yeah, I don't know. I like it. I like hearing the sound of artillery in the distance.
Oh.
I still get to hear it from Fort Lewis off and on.
I actually went on like YouTube. I try to find it, but it doesn't exist. Like, because you know how they have like you fall asleep to like rain or fall asleep to fucking whatever.
Yeah,
I've been looking for like artillery
at.
in the distance, and the most I can find is like muted combat sounds where it's like machine gun fire and shit, and just combat in the distance. Which I'll listen to that too. Actually,
Yeah, most people don't use the sounds of explosions and gunfire to rock themselves to sleep.
Go to sleep. I don't like not loud. It's not like I'm cranking it, but like if it's far away and kind of like low, it's kind of, I don't know. It has like a calming effect.
Mortar here and there with a couple of Kiowas, maybe a Chinook every once in a while.
Just to know the fight's still going on.
Your alarm clock has the failing system going off.
There you go. Maybe a warthog bird here and there.
If you're a hood, you don't want to hear the Apaches firing because normally they're shooting up our own shit.
Yeah, that's definitely like the scariest thing.
I was working range control, and one of my guys calls up. He was overwatching with the civilian. This is when they just got the longbow system.
Mm-hmm.
And so here we got, I think Hood at the time had 6. After that night, they had 3. Because good old first Cav, one of their Brad units, was out doing gunnery. And for some reason, this motherfucker was firing 1,600 mils in the wrong direction.
The no-go.
And it was with armor-piercing rounds.
Right.
But they were shooting their FLIR certification. So for those that don't know, FLIR is forward looking infrared.
Yeah, badass.
It's fun.
Yeah.
But
Helps you find the bad guys.
you're looking for heat signatures. And this guy saw 2 big heat signatures with the third one in the middle and thought they were his targets.
Oh,
Nope.
Jesus.
That was 2 longbows refueling, and the one in between was a fueler. He hit all 3 with armor piercing.
Pinata.
Luckily missed anything explosive.
What year was that? You remember what year it was?
That was had to have been 98 or 99. There was so much shit that happened.
Dude,
in 98 and
I think I remember that
2000.
story. I was there in 98, and I think I remember hearing about that.
Or what was that? Was that 1-8 or was that 112 that had that Bradley get swept away crossing Cowhouse during one?
212? Is that 212?
Yeah, was it 212?
I think so. Yeah. Yeah, you already hear about these crazy stories. I'm just fucking the whole time. And that's like the whole time I'm out there. I'm like, we really just need to be afraid of each other.
Yeah.
While we're here in Garrison.
Well, it's
What was the name of that bar? Remember that bar? You drive to, if you went down to Austin, there was a bar about not too far out of Killeen, but it was on the way heading south.
what music? Because you had the Bunny Club,
mostly
Teasers,
country,
City Lights, and Sam's Club.
Mostly country rock, but it was like a sports bar too. They had pool tables, a couple nice pool tables there.
That was Sam's station. They had a
They had a volleyball.
Oh no, that was fuck.
I think they had outdoor volleyball. I think.
Yeah, that one. And during the summer, they always had concerts. I used to what was the name of it? Not Sharkies or something.
We used to. So
I know. I think it was Sharkies back then.
I can't remember the name of it. I just remember me and my buddies would go there every Sunday. Me and these 3 other medics would go there every Sunday during football season, and we all liked different teams, but we all decided we would just go there and root for whoever was playing against the Cowboys. So whoever was playing against Dallas, we'd fucking root for that team and just be obnoxious assholes in there. And we always got in a fight. We always got thrown out. We never made it through an entire game that season. They'd always let us back in. They'd always let us right the fuck back into that bar. The night they're like, all right, you boys be good this time. I'm like, okay, no problem.
Did you ever go up to Dallas for one of the games?
Mm-mm.
So
dude, I went to Dallas. I went to the Texas Motor Speedway up there.
Yeah.
That's about as close as I ever got.
So the base, every time Dallas had a home game,
mm-hmm.
the base would get tickets. And to get the tickets, you had to show up the Saturday. If it was a Sunday game, you had to show up at 3 Corps Saturday morning in your Class A's ready for inspection.
Mm-hmm.
It was always the day prior you had to show up. But yeah, you got to go to the game and unfold the flag onto the field.
No shit.
Then you stood on the sidelines the whole game. You're just in your pickle suit.
Yeah. I'll take a hard pass on that.
That was a blast unless you did something stupid.
Yeah.
Especially back in the mid-90s when the Cowboys were still somewhat good.
I would definitely consider that a punishment myself. It's just, I put it in there like, remember Trump? What was it? Trump, a couple years back, he was going to do something for like Memorial Day or something. He was like, oh yeah, we'll have a parade. We'll have a bunch of parades. And I'm like, you know who fucking hates parades?
Military.
I'm fucking army guy. I fucking hate them, dude.
They got a march in them.
Dude,
it's no fun when you're in the parade.
No, it's not fun. I like fucking getting all geared up.
that's better than the shit I saw for this upcoming weekend.
Just don't lock your knees.
Yeah, don't lock your knees, boys. I lock my knees all the time. I literally am trying to fucking make myself pass out so I can get the fuck out of there.
That's because you want the Israeli speed bag. You want that silver bullet, you know it.
Yeah, it's always a good time. And the only thing is, like, can't be a heat casualty, because if you're a heat casualty, then you could get marked on combat.
At Hood? Oh, dude.
It's never, I mean, I know it's probably not going to happen. I'm just saying, I'd rather not even risk it when I was a medic at the time. Because at the time I was trying to be like squared away, you know. It's my first assignment, and I was basically just trying to make sure I was like totally squared away, no red marks, and eventually go 18 Delta was the goal. Meanwhile, I get an Article 15 for assaulting an NCO.
So
this is a little minor one though. That's not like a UCMJ.
Oh, it was just company grade.
Yep, Article 15. No big deal. Just a little slap on the wrist.
Hood used to be a fun place.
Yeah, I had a great time when we were there. We would, when we were in, I mean, when we were in country, we would always go to Austin like every weekend without fail. We would drive down to Austin and just party our asses off.
Because
Friday, Saturday. Yep.
I remember watching
such a good scene. Music, live music, like
who knew?
The best bands in the world.
The best live music scenes in the country.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, that's where all the record deals are signed. Like that's where people go to get signed but back then, right? This is the 90s. So back then, the record deal still had enough sway to where, like, if you wanted to get signed, then you were going to be in Austin. And
I saw
it wasn't just country. It was every version, every genre of music you could think of. I remember they had like a bar dedicated to like every genre of music. You were in ska, they had a ska bar. You had country, they had rock.
Yeah.
All of it. Techno.
There's a bunch of the blues bars down there were awesome.
Mm-hmm. But
going to the bars down there, it was like it was a random thing. You never knew who was going to actually show up at a bar. Like I went to a bar and saw ZZ Top play.
Yeah.
They just showed up and figured, oh, we're here. Why not?
Yep. Remember South by Southwest? It was like $25 and you get like the pass for the whole weekend, and you're going to get to see the best bands, not in Texas, mind, like in the world. Because that's when all the bands in the world would travel there to try to sign with record companies that were there for that very reason, to find talent.
I was almost like old George Strait used to host a 3-day series out on his ranch outside of San Antonio.
I didn't know George Strait lived down there.
Yeah. And he was in the Army.
That makes a little bit of sense.
It's funny when you look at like how many artists the military has produced.
Wasn't Axl Rose in the Army?
Axl Rose was a field artillery guy. He was a rope puller or cannon cocker. But George Strait was a mechanic in 25th. Craig Morgan, he was a fister and ranger.
All right.
Who was it? Jimi Hendrix was 101st.
Yeah, that guy's a killer.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Killed himself with cocaine. Oh, I'm sorry, heroin.
Whatever. Details.
No, he just looked like every other fucking vagrant over in Portland.
Dude, he was a freaking genius, way ahead of his time.
That was just the drugs talking.
Well, they sent the message loud and clear to the universe.
Yeah. Shot so high, you never came down.
Mm-mm. Yeah, I like Austin, but I think if I ever to go back to Texas, I think I would choose San Antonio to live near or like closer
San
to.
Antonio's nice. Less tornadoes, but gorgeous country down there.
Horseshit.
Of the Alamo. I don't know why. Like I have like there's like it's a weird thing with me in the Alamo. Every time I go there, I'm just like, man, it's like a sacred spot to me.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna say you wanted to one up Ozzy and take a shit on it instead of pee on it.
So I have a funny story. You want to hear my San Antonio Alamo story?
Did you pee on it?
Yes, I did. Pissed on it. And it wasn't my proudest moment, but
did you get shot?
What's that? No, I didn't get shot. But
Did you get caught?
I didn't. Oh yeah, I got caught. So yeah. So we were it was when I was at AIT. We were down there in what is it? Sam Fort Fort Sam Houston for medic training, and like we were out in the town, just kind of like partying. And at that point, I didn't really know much about the Alamo, but at that point, like they were talking about Ozzy, and they're like, "Oh yeah, dude, like you don't disrespect the Alamo. Like you take a piss on the Alamo. Like Ozzy Osbourne got fucking kicked out of Texas for pissing on the Alamo." So like that story got stuck in my head earlier on in the night. So at one point, I guess I decided, I'm like, you know what? I'm taking a piss on the Alamo. Don't know why I decided, just to like the whole like to just be a young dumb asshole. So so we were out at one point where they're on the side of the Alamo. I think we're on the east side of it. And sure enough, I walk up, I take a piss, and then two frigging, whatever cops, security, whatever they are, come up. They're like, "What the fuck do you think you're doing?" Basically, just like, "What are you doing?" And yeah, and I just explained to them that I'm an idiot, and my friends had told me that Ozzy pissed on the Alamo, and long story short, they let me go. They didn't kick me out of Texas. They let me go with a warning, and thank God. But every time, and I went a couple times after, so now every time I go, I pay it the utmost respect. After pissing on it.
After doing the most,
yeah, it's bad. I know, but
that's all. I mean, I'm not going to say it's a fucking church. So I mean,
it really is. You know what I mean? Yeah,
sacrilegious. You're being sacrilegious and desecrating a state monument.
I didn't say I was proud of it. I'm just telling you.
But
somehow we ended up on the Alamo, so I had to tell you what happened. I felt the need to let you know I pissed on that Alamo, and I felt bad about it. Now it's like a sacred place to me.
In today's society, though, that's not that bad.
No, it's not. That's sad. It's sad that it's not. But only you and like other guys probably get the gravity of what I did. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just surprised you didn't get the shit beat out of you.
I'm surprised too. I'm surprised those cops. I mean, you know how it goes. Like, I can't lie. There's a few times I've had run-ons with cops, but when they find out you're a combat medic, they kind of cut you a little bit of slack.
They would have been less offended if you went and you probably could have gone and fucking kidnapped somebody, and they'd be like, "Okay, we get it." But you pissed on the Alamo.
Listen, let's be real here. The reality of it is, how many guys in Fort Sam like me, like how often do you think maybe it happens?
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
But you pissed on one of their greatest monuments in a state where they don't teach anything else that doesn't happen in that fucking state.
Yeah,
I hear there's one people in the U.S. that are more prouder about where they're from, and they're called Puerto Ricans. I mean, I'm sorry to. You have Texans, then Americans. You have Puerto Ricans, then Americans.
Yeah.
But I mean,
listen,
honestly,
for whatever reason,
that's not that considered disrespectful.
Yeah. For whatever reason, they decided to be understanding and show leniency that night. And all I can be is grateful for that.
I was going through my through Facebook earlier and came across this local memorial place up here is hosting a benefit concert and car show at the cemetery with a beer garden. And in the video that they shot from the show a couple years ago, you literally see a car parked right in front of a fucking headstone. I'm like, how does this even pass a fucking common sense test?
Welcome to Washington.
I get it. It's not a municipal cemetery. It's a private company that operates this thing. But you want to, I mean, the Northwest is great for, let's do really dumb shit that involves alcohol. Like Pendleton Roundup, let's put a bunch of Indians and cowboys together, add alcohol, and sure, nobody's going to.
I'm pretty sure the whole planet's every time they do that.
But I mean, reading the comments on this thing, and I got to be careful about putting my opinion out on Facebook, especially around here with something like that, because the car club does do a lot of
isn't that fucking sad?
I got to worry about it because, that'll affect my business.
Yeah.
But it's like, how fucking disrespectful can you be? Memorial Day weekend, on the Sunday, you want to have a fucking concert and a car show on cemetery grounds.
Yeah.
And you're adding beer in the scenario.
I don't know. Listen, entire sports teams are taking a knee. Entire stadiums are taking a knee.
That's politics. That ain't fucking, desecrating a cemetery.
Once you start that's the downward. That's the downward. You know what I mean? Like once you start, that's kind of like the downward. Like all bets are off, bro.
Yeah.
All right. So none of it fucking matters then.
After this last 3 days, or the 3 days I spent with my dad in Portland, I shouldn't really be surprised. That was a great trip that I had with them. I got a very awakening to what's going on with him. You'll like this since you used to be medics. They don't know if it is a flutter or an irregular rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
But for the last 6 months, his heart has been beating at 130 to 140 beats a minute, resting.
Like all the time, tachycardia, or it comes and goes?
Well, he's had an ablation done about 6 years ago, or 5 or 6 years ago, and apparently they didn't. They missed some of it with the technique that was used at the time, which was the burning. So here in a month and a half, we're going to have to go back over there, and it's going to be about a 4 to 5 day trip, because for those that haven't experienced one, I got the whole procedure described pretty graphically. They're going to go using the femoral arteries, or you're going to insert probes and cameras and all that other shit, snake it up through his legs into his fucking heart. They're going to come in through a vein in his neck, and a needle from this side. And this time they're going to freeze it. And they're hoping that this round will bring him back into a normal rhythm. but they're putting him on a anticoagulate or blood thinner.
How old is he?
He's almost 66.
All right.
But my dad's a great guy. We get back from a 3-day trip. He goes back to fucking work on a Saturday.
Yeah.
And no, there was a lot of, this was the most time we have ever spent together in my life without anything else around us. And it was an eye opener, there's realizing how it's I didn't think about my dad's mortality until, really take a lot of consideration into it until this last few months. And then hearing all the options and what's going on with them at the doctor's office, just ramps everything up. And all right, Dad, we need to get on top of getting this shit done before your procedure, just in case something happens. I don't have to deal with my brother coming in and destroying your house.
Yeah,
And
it's tough, dude. I
it is. I mean,
spend every moment. All I could tell you is spend every moment with your old man that you can.
Well,
My old man died 10 years ago. And so like basically me and my old man, we were cool. But my dad was a Marine.
yeah.
And so it was very like limited emotion contact. I think he only told me he loved me like twice, And then I at 18 I got kicked out and I did my thing and I went solo and I never heard from him really. Like I'd pop in like here and there. I met with him a couple times, but then like years went by until finally when at the age of I think it was 56, he died.
Yeah.
And and I just feel like I missed out on those chances, like those years you think you'd always have sometime to eventually. So yeah, man, spend every fucking time, every minute you can. Make sure you spend time with him now. Make sure you're squared away. Obviously, get him to do what he's got to do. Hopefully, he has 20 more years. But
that's doubtful. It was an eye opener because his wife passed away the day before COVID hit the shores.
Yeah,
and my brother moved in the day after. And she was his backbone. My brother's undiagnosed schizophrenic and bipolar. Great combination, especially when you're not medicated.
right.
His twisted version of reality is his reality at this point in life. So where he walks around when he does leave my dad's house or his property, my brother walks around town with fucking hatchets tucked into his fucking belt. Like Mel Gibson on the fucking Patriot,
right,
tossing tomahawks and shit. And that's pretty much what he fucking spends his time doing, is throwing tomahawks at this fucking this stack of firewood that he says is his target dummy.
Yeah, maybe build something like a fucking deck. I don't know. Fucking do something.
Yeah, it's one of these deals. My dad's trapped in the situation.
Yep.
And because he has had no one come and visit him since his wife passed away, because they're afraid of my brother. My dad works 6 days a week to give him something to do, but in 15 months since his wife passed away, he has yet to even mourn her because of my brother. And my hands are tied. I can't go over there I could go over there and try and pick a fight with them and press charges, but then that's going to put my dad through even more. It's a shitty deal, especially since, we went almost we went over 10 years without saying a word to each other or seeing each other.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's me and my old man.
And it's, we finally are back to a point where I think we're at a better place than we ever were before. But now I've got, now there's this in the situation, and I've got to be the voice of reason and try and help him be his backbone, so he can actually enjoy some peace in his life.
Yep. That's all I could tell you is like whatever you can do to help him out. Me and my old man, it's not like me and my old man, we didn't fall out or anything, he's like a loner, and so was I. So like when I went on my way, I just kind of went on my way and I did my thing, and I would check in with him. So there was no like love lost or anything. Like we were good. It's just, we do our own things and years go by, and before you know it, 5, 6, 7, 8 years go by.
Yeah.
And you always think like, someday we'll circle back and we'll tell war stories or this, that, you know what I mean? And I never got that chance because he died, and was like, and so now I just regret not having that chance to at least make sure I said everything or had all those conversations, and regardless of the past, so like you got that chance, just make sure you get whatever you want out off your heart and tell it to them, or you'll regret it you'll regret it.
No,
Trust me.
we've actually mended fences, and a lot our fallout was over my son. And I didn't take into consideration their emotions and their feelings with the whole situation. I took their overstepping boundaries as them trying to step in and basically tell me how to raise my kid. And I let a stupid argument and pride sacrifice over a decade of time with almost all of my family. And it's been a hard rebuild, but 3 days with him in my Jeep, and we talked. I mean, hell, we never even listened to the radio. Well, is going to probably be one of my greatest memories with him. And I know it's he actually said the hardest thing he's probably ever had to say to anybody in the world was admit that he blames my brother for his wife's passing. That's a hard one. Yeah. I don't know if it was harder for him to say it to me or just for him to verbally say it out loud.
I mean, for all you know, he came to that realization right there. They had that heart moment right there. Sometimes that's how it works. But yeah, I was an only kid, so I lucked out, and then I didn't luck out. I remember being an only kid. The only thing you wish for is a brother.
Yeah,
that's the only thing you ever wish. Like, man, I wish I had a brother. All the time you're only kid. But then, like later on, as you get older, you're like, you know what? Some brothers suck ass. So I don't know. Maybe it's a coin toss.
It is.
Right?
It is. Me and my brother are. It's funny.
I've gotten to choose all my brothers over the years.
My brother does not resemble my dad one scrap of him. He looks exactly like my mom's family. I and my son, they're all, both my sons are spitting images of me, except my oldest took after his mom, and he's kind of a thubby guy. No, I can't lie. My oldest kid has bitch tits. I'm sorry, but they both resemble me.
Yeah, my daughter looks just like me. Everyone,
My youngest son is a fucking clone, but it's my brother looks exactly like my mom side of the family. Does not resemble my dad in any way, and I resemble my dad in every way. So it's always it's interesting how you saw the difference growing up. You know, my dad just probably didn't, you know, could have done a lot of things differently, but did the best he could, just like any parent. You know, that's all you can ask. And you're never gonna make that is the best advice I ever gave my youngest son when he had his boy last year was you will never make the right decision. It's an impossibility. You can only make the best decision at the time.
I'd just be like, just try to do better than I did. That's all. Just try to do better to whatever I did. Try to take that and improve upon it.
Yeah,
that's all I can tell you. I don't know. My old man, he even told me straight up when. So I was like 12, or you want to finish the thought?
No, I got to call or get a hold of my youngest boy because I found I actually learned about my family history. So,
oh, you got to let him know.
I've got to let, and it's because it's medically related. You know, I've had my lungs, my right lungs, surgically fused to my rib cage. So
I think you remember you mentioning this actually.
My dad,
because it collapsed on it, like it spontaneously collapsed on itself.
Yeah. 3 spontaneous pneumos, and it turns out it runs in my family with all the men. My cousin had multiples happen when he's in high school. His older brother, same thing. Their dad, same thing, but that doesn't really count because he married into the family. But I know my son, my youngest boy, grew the exact same way I did. Real quick, fast, rapid growth. And I know he's had respiratory issues growing up. So, hey, I found out if you have a collapsed lung, it's not my fault. It's the rest of your family's fault first.
We would get him that super lung surgery where his lung can't collapse anymore. It's stapled with goddamn ribs.
Yeah, no, fuck that. I woke up from the OR. I had 2 tubes come out of my chest and 1 come out of my dick, and I didn't like any of them in there.
Nah, you're never fun.
And waking up out of anesthesia is not apparently you say some interesting shit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I give mad props to anybody that is a recovery room nurse because those people are saints for the shit they have to deal with and the shit people say. Yours truly included in that one.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
According to my wife, she has up until that point had never heard me say half the shit I said in that recovery room. Or talk to somebody the way I spoke to that nurse. And I actually wound up buying her flowers and properly apologizing to her after I was released from the hospital.
Yep.
You guys have a good night. I gotta go pick up my wife.
All right, brother.
Y'all have fun.
Have a good one.
Stay safe.
Yeah, I forgot what I was thinking about there. Oh well.
Yeah, parents are.
Oh yeah, parental guidance.
Dads are tough.
Yeah, I remember I was I was like 12 or 13 years old, or like 30, like I was 13. I remember I was 13 years old, right, going on 18. And my old man just kind of like put me to the side. He's like, listen, you're going to start going out. You're going to start going like partying, drinking, girls, like it's what you're going to do. And he's like, I'm not going to tell you you can't do it. Cause I guess my grandpa, his old man was like super strict, right? So his old man was like ultra strict, and to the point where it caused him to run away from home. Like I think he ran out of home. He ran away when he was 16 because he's like, I'm done with this. So he's like, listen, I don't know the right way to parent, but I know what won't work is me putting a bunch of rules on you. So at the end of the day, he's just like, you're going to do whatever you want. So there's no curfew. There's no, rules, but, you do what I tell you to do when I tell you to do it. And if you get in trouble, if you need help, like, then you got to find it. Like, I don't want to be getting a call from the cops in the middle of the night saying, come get this kid, because I'm not going to get you. You're going to spend however many nights in jail you're going to spend. And I learned that the hard way, that he wasn't fucking around. But yeah, like early on, like he's just like, you can do whatever you want. So I had like all the freedom, but I also had all the responsibility. Oh, you need money? Go get a job. Go make the money to get whatever you need. So I had like from like 13 on, I had like total freedom outside of him, like walk the dogs, pick up the dog shit, anything he told me to do, I did it. But outside of that, I could do, there's no curfews, there were no calls. I could stay out as late as I want. So that was the total polar opposite. You're muted.
My kids laugh because I told them that when I got out of sixth grade, they took me out and they just dropped me in the middle of the blueberry field. And that's where I spent my summer picking blueberries. I said, and I paid room and board from sixth grade on. And the only time I didn't pay room and board was if I was in school and I didn't have a part-time job. If I was working while I was in school, I still paid room and board. And if I was out of school and I hadn't found a job, that room and board accrued and I had to pay it back when I did start working. And yeah, I was the son that couldn't do anything right. My brother could do no wrong. My sister could do no wrong. I could do no right. So yeah, my relationship with my dad was very strained. But it is what it is.
Yeah, mine was easy. It was great.
We fought my senior year. We fought. It was probably the worst year. He wanted me to go to art college. And the art teacher had been like grooming me since 10th grade. She was going to get me a full scholarship. And I come home and I'm like, can you sign these papers so I can join the Air Force? And he goes, I already talked to the art teacher and you're getting a full scholarship. You're going to be an art teacher. It's like, no, I don't think so. I said, I think I'm going in the Air Force. I want to be a combat photographer. We fought over that one. He gave in. He gave in. He signed the papers, but
that's the right thing you got to do. You got to let a man follow his dreams. Can't fight that.
Now my son, oh my God. It took him so long to find what he wanted to do and find where he's finally comfortable and happy, or as happy as anybody can be that has to work for a living.
Mm-hmm.
But it was I told him, I said, I'm not going to tell you what you got to do. I'll whatever you want to do, I'll support you. But
I'm curious, what made you want to be a combat photographer? Like, what was it? that made you say, "Hey, I got to be a combat photographer"?
I worked at the guard base my senior year. They got me an internship, and almost every guy there had been to Vietnam. Uh, these guys had like home 8mm movies of bombing runs and firefights and everything else. And it's like, do I really want to teach a bunch of high school kids how to paint? Because this looks like so. My goal, as stupid as it sounds, my goal was to do one tour in Vietnam, come back with a great portfolio of combat photos, and then go work for Life magazine. That was
Okay.
that was the goal.
That was the plan. The
That
whole
was the
plan.
plan. That was the entire plan. Now, there was a couple drawbacks to the plan. One, only one
You
in
got to
three
join the military.
yeah, 1 in 3 combat photographers, only 1 in 3 made it back. So there was that. So that meant you had to be the
Mm-hmm.
you had
There's
to be
some
the
risk, a little bit of risk.
you had to be the 1 out of 3 that made it back. And you're 17. It's like I'm never going to die. So you don't even consider that. The other thing I hadn't considered was that Vietnam was starting to wind down in 74. And in 75, by the time I graduated school, they weren't sending anybody over. They were only bringing people back. And that did not pan out well for me because when I graduated tech school, they gave me a choice because I wanted to stay on active duty. And they said, sure, you can stay on active duty, but you can't be a photographer on active duty. You got to do something else. And, they were going to pick, not me. So I said, you know what? I'll go back to the guard unit and be a photographer. And then Life magazine went out of business. So that plan was like doomed to failure right from the get-go.
Mm-hmm.
And there was no plan B. Plan B was not part of the package. I didn't realize it till a lot later that a lot of my decisions were kind of high risk because I just had a lot of trauma growing up, and I would go for the high risk stuff, figuring, if I die, I die and it'll be over. And
Mm-hmm.
I just, it was just something I never dealt with. And now I'm having to deal with it. It's not a whole lot of fun. I have developed a whole lot more respect for what a lot of you guys have gone through, because it was infinitely worse than what I went through, and yet you were all able to deal with it usually better than I'm dealing with than I'm dealing with it. And
well, well, for one, it's all relative, brother. Like it is what it is. Your pain or whatever you have to deal with is every bit as painful as what a seriously fucked up individual has to deal with, like in the head. You know what I'm saying? Like in the head.
It probably is. But my problem is I totally ignored it. I totally compartmentalized it. I pretended, my thing was it didn't exist. It didn't happen. I'm not going to think about it anymore. And I'm going on to something else. And I did not realize how it affected relationships and other stuff. And when I had the stroke, that's when I had to deal with it. And people laugh. I said, but I was literally trapped in my own head, and I'm reliving every rotten, terrible thing that ever happened to me, every painful thing that ever happened, and I'm stuck in my head going over it over and over again. And I said, that is not a place I ever want to be again.
Yeah, it's tough. And that's all you can do is just get out of it and push forward.
And
Like that's really the only answer.
yeah, when they gave me that shot, it was like stuff that I had totally forgotten about was coming back. And the memories got, instead of fading away, they got clearer. It was weird. And now I'm having to deal with it. And when I saw the neurologist finally, because they said you had a stroke, you got to see a neurologist. You just got to. That was the first thing she said. She said, you have, I don't think I talked to her for 5 minutes, and she said, you have PTSD and you need to be in therapy. And she gave me a psych consult. And so I start Wednesday. I'm just going to go with the program. I've seen so many guys here where it just helps so much, once they found the right person, I guess. And so I told my wife, I said, I'm just going to go with it. It's
Yeah.
it's for the best. And because I changed so much after that. And I sometimes see myself like slipping back into the person I used to be. And I don't want to do that, but I'm not real happy with the person I am now either. And I said, there's got to be, that medium in between the two.
Oh yeah.
And
You have to be happy with yourself. So until then, you what you're doing is the right thing. You just keep trying.
yeah, I said it's so, maybe the therapy will help me find that. I mean, I guess I'll find it eventually, but maybe it'll help me do it a little bit faster. And
Yeah, let me know when you do. Tell me what works.
it's funny because I was talking to Dan. I said, listen, you're going to school for this. Can't I just like be your practice dummy? It's like, no. So, all right, I'm gonna give it a fair shot then, but it's funny. It's like I like most of the changes. I like, being able to, be more open with my wife. I like being able to not have to hide my emotions. Not like I could anymore, but because now it just hits me and I don't have a choice. My wife, she laughs. I'll be watching TV and something will hit me and I'll start crying, and she'll come over and I'll go, don't, I said, don't make fun of me. She says, I'm not making fun of you. You're so cute when you cry. Like, okay, we'll go with that. But it's it's weird. It's not, because I was never that way.
Well, you're only human.
Panicking. I never had a panic attack in my life. And every time after I got out of the hospital, every time I had to wear that mask for more than 5 or 10 minutes, I would have a panic attack. And like it got to the point where it bothered me so much that I literally sat with that mask on for maybe an hour and a half until I could breathe without panicking, because I couldn't wear it. It was killing me. And there was no reason for it. I didn't get it. I didn't understand. Why would that cause me to panic? So it's just a lot of changes and everything hit real quick and real fast. Hello, Sarah. How are you? Oh, she's got audio now. How are you, Sarah? I hope you're doing well.
I'm doing all right. Been a stressful weekend, but that's pretty much a normal thing for me nowadays. But
He's going to give it up sooner or later. He's got to realize he's not winning.
I know, and he keeps messaging me and harassing me. So I'm like, dude, you've gotten all these freaking emails and certified letter. Give it up. Leave me alone. But that ain't the case. He thinks he's still in complete control of me and owns me. And I'm like, nope. I just severed the last tie that you had with me. So get over it.
That's a tough thing to do, too. So.
Oh, yeah, I know.
He should realize that you're pretty strong. And, you're not going to fall back into that.
Mm-mm. Oh, no, never again.
My wife would have killed him in his sleep by now.
Oh, he keeps this up, we're gonna have major problems. So I'm like, I seriously have to go through two more months of this crap. You must be insane.
Well, I don't know how well the restraining orders work where you're at, but.
Well, the problem is that I have to consult my attorney before I do that because technically it's been ordered, but he's an idiot and all of that stuff, everything that he's saying to me is documented. And I go in and read them, but I don't respond because all he's doing is throwing a huge old temper tantrum as usual. But I mean, you were told, I don't know what planet you're living on, but apparently it's planet whatever. It's
I say let him keep digging that hole that he's digging and making it worse for himself.
Yeah, I'm surprised the attorney hasn't violated him on the restraining order every time you get one little thing.
I mean, yeah, I'm gonna talk to him about that because I'm not dealing with this crap for the next 2 months. Forget it. I mean, they've told him he does not want to comply. Not that I care if he does or not. Neither does little one who doesn't ask about him, talk about him, nothing. That says a lot right there.
Yeah.
I mean, he even told me and told my mom when we were both standing there. He's like, I know I never want to see my father again. I'm like, oh, here we go.
I know that's a shame, but sometimes it's for the best, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, ugh. It's just all in all, it's frustrating as all hell. And I mean, yeah, I know I'm strong, and I mean, I'm at that breaking point right now where reach out and touch somebody, but I have to behave, unfortunately, and I don't like that, especially with him. I mean, he deserves what he did to me and what he did to my child. He completely deserves that back, 100%. And let him feel that pain. But I mean, he shows no remorse at all. So
yeah, I don't think he's feeling any pain. I think he's just feeling like I lost control and how do I get it back?
yeah, that's the whole thing. He's a control. He has to be in total control. If he's not happy with making somebody else's life a living hell, I mean, he'll be happy if that happens. But if he can't do that, oh my God, there goes here comes an explosion. So, I mean, there's no, how can I say this? there's no like happy medium anywhere. And right now he's not happy. He is madder than mad. And I mean, he's really mad because I'm not arguing back with him. I mean, that's what he wants. He wants an argument. I'm not doing it. Sorry. I mean, throughout this whole thing, I've wised up. I know what to do and what not to do. So, I mean, I sent my attorney an email. I'm going to send her another one and ask her about possibly getting a protection order because I don't need this. I don't need him. I mean, hovering. I mean, I had called the daycare about a week or two ago, asked that on a Tuesday, asked them they show up, and they're like, yeah, he did. And then he was back here Wednesday circling the building. I'm like, are you serious? I mean, come on. This is what he does.
I'm surprised they didn't call the cops.
If it's not on their property, they're not going to. I mean, yeah, if he were to sit in the parking lot for however long to see if I showed up, then yeah, they probably would. If he did it on the days that he's not supposed to, then yeah, they have the right to call the authorities. But other than that, I mean, I don't know what else to do. I mean, he is not, I mean, you would think that after the time he had really pissed me off and put me in a headlock, I slammed him against the wall and I flipped him. You would have thought that would have been the end of him pushing my buttons. But no, that didn't give him a big thrill. That wasn't a thrill enough. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I need to figure out something because I'm not, like I said, I'm not sitting here suffering through the rest of this for the next two months when I don't go back till August to deal with this crap. I mean, it's not fair to me at all. And I just sit here, pick up my life and my child's life again for like the fourth or fifth time now. And here we are.
Yeah, you're breaking up, Sarah.
New job, new everything. It's not cool. Hear me?
Yeah, it's a little better.
Yeah, I mean, it's not fair to me that I have to suffer through this again on his account. I mean, I'm at a loss. I don't know what the heck to do.
Well, if they would start violating him every time you got an email, and he would get picked up and have to spend the night in jail, at some point it's going to start getting old.
I mean, that's the thing. I mean, he needs to be put away. Honestly. I mean, hell, he tax fraud right there.
He needs to be put away, and where he goes needs to have a little information of jail justice do their job.
Oh yeah.
I'm not like that, but that's what needs to happen to him.
It's tough. It's tough, especially when there's kids involved.
And I mean, when the judge doesn't necessarily, I mean, to me, anybody within the judicial system in family court needs to have knowledge of domestic violence and also child abuse. So, but that's just me. I mean, that honestly is what should happen. But like, you never know. I need to get off here. I gotta go get ready to head home. Yeah, finally.
All right. Well, stay safe.
Always.
Do your best. And, we'll be here for you.
I appreciate it. But all right, have a good night, everyone.
Okay. You too.
All right, bye.
Hey, Tannhauser, did you get my message about Ranger Station?
Yes. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I'm going to try and go to that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. When is that in? What date?
July 17th.
Yeah, definitely should be good for that.
I think I've been to the Expo Center. I'm not really sure.
You know of any other conventions going on this summer?
I'm hoping they do J1 Con again, which would be at the Showboat in Atlantic City, which is not like the greatest venue in the world, but
Yeah, whatever. It's a good time.
it is. That's one of my favorites. New Jersey Gamer Con. They couldn't get a commitment or any kind of agreement with their venue, so they probably won't do anything until next year. But my grandson is a guest at Black Label Con now. Like they're advertising him and everything, and I thought that was pretty cool. He said he wanted to be a celebrity guest at a convention before he graduated high school, and he's supposed to go into ninth grade. He might go into 10th. He might skip a grade.
That's awesome.
But yeah, he goes, yeah, I'm getting a room and everything. I said, yeah, they put you in my room with me. Because why? I said, yeah, I'm the guest photographer. So yeah, I told him you could stay in my room. Oh, so what you think? You're getting a room by yourself? No. But yeah, he was thrilled. He's like planning all kinds of stuff for it.
I wonder if that Wizard World.
They had something. They may do one in September. I don't know if it's going to pan out or not. But we will see.
Well, if they do it, I'll probably go check it out.
Wizard World was like the first one I ever went to.
Is it? Yeah, me too. Probably one of the first ones I ever went to. I really never was into conventions or anything, but as I started playing Warhammer and painting the models.
Yeah. Now I had done some Star Trek conventions like years before until, kind of fell out of favor, I guess, with the general public. But yeah, I used to do some of the Star Trek conventions, which were fun. So I got like a ton of autograph stuff from them because I was StarCon in Atlantic City. I was the official photographer, so I got to hang out with the talent all weekend.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty neat. I enjoyed it. So I got a lot of autograph stuff from that. And I always figured it would be worth something someday, but apparently not.
No,
It's worth what somebody's willing to pay for it.
I'd be surprised if someone wasn't willing to pay a little bit of coin for that kind of stuff.
Maybe one day.
Yeah, you just wait.
I was going to sell it when my daughter was going on an exchange program to Australia, and they offered me like $25 for each one. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me! You got it the same thing for $250. The guy said, yeah, and how long's it been there? And how long is it going to be there before I sell it? He says, you want $250 for your stuff? Hang on to it and find somebody that'll give you $250 for it.
Yep.
I said, well, you know what? I could throw the lousy $100 into my daughter's thing without selling this. So the other thing I got a ton of is movie posters. Like old movie posters. I should probably start pulling them out one or two at a time and photographing them and throwing them up on eBay or something.
Yeah, I'm terrible with saving that kind of shit. I got a bunch of stamps that my old man left me. And he was a stamp collector, and he's got all these like old stamps. I actually did take him to like a stamp person, his shop. And so the guy that like looked at him, I could tell just by his face that what I had was valuable. You know what I mean? Like I could tell by his face. And then he gave me a number, and I was like, okay, that's a pretty good number. But at the time, I'm like, these are worth more just by like looking at your face. Like, I don't know, but I could just tell like these things are rare, whatever I have here. So I put him back in the box. I'm like, yeah, I'll get back to you. And he tried to contact me a couple more times. I never got back to him. And that's where they are. They're just still in the box sitting there.
Yeah, that's where you take them to somebody else and say,
yeah, someday. They're in a box in the attic at this point. But I was living in Maryland at the time, and now I'm up here near Philly. So I just haven't had a chance to find someone around here and be like, hey, what do you think these are worth?
Yeah, there should probably be a few places in Philly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could give a shit about the stamps. But what I do have, what I think are valuable and I'll never sell, is my old man I told you, he was a combat photographer, recon Marine. So what he would do in Vietnam is he would like lay in the belly of a plane and like take pictures and shit. Apparently.
They would do a cutout in the plane so you could put the camera lens through it. That was the way to do it.
And he also had a bunch of pictures on the ground. And then of course he had pictures, after that of just being in the Marines, tons of pictures. Pictures when he was in F4, like he got to fly in F4 and take pictures. So that was his first, like that was like his enlisted career in the Marines.
Yeah.
And I have all those pictures. So I have the negatives and I have the pictures that he'd saved for his own personal files, and I have all that stuff.
See, they didn't let us take anything in the Air Force. I have 4 slides, and I don't even know where they're at right now. Mm-hmm. They're probably upstairs in a file box, but I have 4 slides from when I rode backseat in the 106.
Oh yeah, I'm sure some of this shit is the Department of Defense would not like me to have it.
But and of those 4 slides, one of them I didn't even take the picture. Somebody took it, me holding both barf bags up.
Yeah. If we weren't live, I would tell you some of the pictures that I have of my old man and recon Marines in Vietnam.
Oh, I've seen some of that stuff at the base.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like unbelievable. We all have this image that, how glorious war is. And
Oh yeah. It's glorious, all right.
I don't think anybody that hasn't seen it up, like up close like that or experienced it, I don't think they have a clue.
What's the saying? War is hell.
Yeah. Same thing with law enforcement. I get so tired of people, these cops are wrong and they should be able to,
Yeah.
like, really, do you really believe that? Because you don't look that stupid, but maybe you are. I don't know. If you
I wouldn't
think
want to be a
cops,
cop.
if you think cops can shoot a gun out of somebody's hand because you saw it on TV, there is something seriously wrong with you.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm lucky. I'm lucky that the few times when I thought it was going to come down to that, I was always able to talk people down. But you know, and honestly, I do believe cops need to try and find a better way. But when push
Yeah.
comes to shove, if it's a choice of me pulling the trigger and going home or letting you pull the trigger and my wife bury me, I'm sorry, I'm going home.
Those are tough situations. Good luck, armchair, quarterback and that shit. So whoever's got that shit, I'm like, you know what? You go do the job. See how fucking you do out there in those kinds of situations. And if you make the right decisions, good luck.
They just need to run them through the don't shoot course with the live ammo that we used to say. And that's another thing that they are right about is that cops do not get enough training. But the problem is everybody says, oh, you need more training, but nobody wants a budget money for training.
Nope.
We used to get 2 weeks of in service every year, which is really not a lot. And that's not counting range time. But we used to get 2 weeks of in service training every year. Like you would literally go back to a police academy and sit in a classroom for 2 weeks. And they used to do like 2-3 days of live fire with the simunition. And then it was 1 week. And then it was 1 week every other year. And then it was 3 days. And you got the simunition every other time. They complain you're not trained well, but they keep cutting back on your training.
Well, you get what you pay for.
Yeah, it's a no-win situation sometimes. And then you got politicians in the mix, which don't help. I remember when they had the riots in Atlantic City, the only thing keeping those people under control is when they would go out there with the dogs. And some guy fell running away from the dog and hurt his ankle. So they pulled all the dogs off the street. Like, really? Guy's rioting. He's looting. They're destroying property. And he got hurt running away from the dogs. So now we're going to take the dogs off the street because we don't want to hurt them. Get out of here. But it is what it is, I guess.
I'm sure it'll all be fine.
Eventually.
I'm sure if we just keep treating adults like little fucking children, we'll eventually all just figure it out.
Well, what's going to happen is you're going to see people are going to start taking the law to their own hands.
What are you gonna see?
It's already happening, dude. Did you not see the riot on the Capitol building? Do you not see the complete fucking disregard for police? Like, dude, we're already there. Like, the pot is boiling. You're inside it.
Yeah, but the stuff on the Capitol building, I think there was a lot more to that than was let
There's
out.
only so many warning signs the universe can give you. Either, like, dude, we're there. Just look at history. We're already there. We're already in that fucking spiral downward at this point.
Well, I
It's gonna
don't
take miracles to save us.
I don't carry anymore because I just don't feel it's safe for me to carry with my issues. And I keep considering, should I sell my gun or should I just leave it in the where it's at, nice and safe in case I ever need it? And it's like part of me wants to sell it because I can buy more camera gear. But there's another part of me it's like that. I mean, I've carried a gun since 1980. It's like it's it's a part of your being at this point, and I don't know how I deal with selling it. I guess I'm gonna have to keep it.
Yeah, I would.
I only got two guns, and I carry every day.
Well, I'm thinking I might get a shotgun at some point. And
I do want to get one of those.
But I can't even get the one I want because this is New Jersey and they won't let you have what you want. And then I got to teach my wife to shoot it too, which is another issue. But we used to go out.
You want to have guns. If there's people out there in the world with guns, then you want some too.
Well, when I used to go on the range, I was a sergeant, and I didn't have to fire a shotgun if I didn't want to. And so the only way I would fire it is if they would let me shoot from the hip. Because I didn't hunt. And, I didn't hunt and I didn't like it up against my shoulder. And I could rack off rounds a lot faster holding it at the hip. Well, guys, it's 11 o'clock. I think I'm going to call it. I am like totally exhausted. I don't know if it's from the COVID shot or
no worries, brother. It's all good. I'm
tired from everything else, but and I'm gonna get my grandson at 9 o'clock. So that'll keep me busy for a little while. I think he's coming over to babysit me. I don't know. They tell me he just wants to hang out, but I think they just still don't trust me on my own yet. Little do they know.
Thing, man. We'll catch you on Wednesday.
All right. Stay safe, guys.